Hello and welcome to a brand spanking new Crafty Simulations video. Right, today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit more simple. We're not going to be reviewing an aircraft per se, because I'm actually going to be going out in one of the most iconic single-engine aircraft, the general aviation side, here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, this being the A2A Comanche 250. Now, I have reviewed this aircraft before. In fact, I've done a couple of videos on the A2A Comanche, and it's been a while since I've flown it. I just haven't really got around to flying it, but the past week or so, I have been taking little flights in it. And for those of you who don't know who A2A is, or A2A are, this is one of the best companies here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. In fact, one of the best companies in Flight Simulator as a whole. They are legendary for creating some of the greatest, most in-depth, in-detail aircraft across general aviation styles of aircraft, and also warbirds. Not here, unfortunately, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but across FSX and in FS 2004, we had aircraft such as the mighty B-17. We had the Texan, or the Harvard, I suppose if you're British. We had Cessnas, and all sorts of aircraft in between. And never did jet aircraft, that I believe. No, don't believe so. But in FSX terms, I had a lot of their aircraft. So when this was dropped quite a while ago now for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, it had to go into the collection. It just had to. Now, like I said, in previous simulators, they have had more aircraft. In Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, we only have the Comanche 250. Now, there is rumours of another aircraft being released for this sim and for 2024 when that gets released. But at the moment, we have no information on that new aircraft, other than, I believe it's a twin-engine aircraft. I will talk about it a little bit more when we get going on the flight, but at the moment, like I said, we just have the Comanche. Now, if you haven't had a look at the Comanche 250, I engage, just go and have a look at my previous video, because I go into reviewing this aircraft a little bit more detail than what I would in this video. But it is a beautiful general aviation aircraft, and is unique enough not to be like just Flight creating it or Caronado creating it. It's A2A have done it, and they've done an absolutely stonking job on it. So I will say right now, I had a look on Marketplace where to purchase this aircraft. Now, I got it personally from A2A themselves, and at the moment that is for sale at $49.99 US. Now that translates to £38.62 in the UK, of which where I am. It is actually available in Marketplace for £41.74. Now, I know Marketplace will probably add their side to it, but I'm fairly certain, because like I said, I bought it through directly from the developer, from A2A themselves, and I'm fairly certain I paid 38 odd pounds. So I don't know whether that's, just Marketplace adding a little bit more to it. Is it worth £38? Yes, it is. Is it worth £41? Oh yes, that's not much difference, but it's definitely worth the money. It's awesome. There also is, I think they've just released a repaint pack, which is available from obviously A2A themselves, and also available on the Marketplace, and that's, I believe, $4.99, and it adds a few very well done, very well created repaints. I don't know whether they're copying real aircraft, but it is available. So if you want some more repaints on top of the repaints that come with the aircraft, I think there's 4 or 5 repaints that come with the aircraft. This is not one of them. This is a repaint that I got some time ago, and it was on flightsim.to, and it is quite unique, and this is the reason why I like it. It is a repaint themed, doesn't exist in reality, but it is themed, of the United States Air Force Thunderbirds display team. So like the Red Arrows for the UK, the Thunderbirds for the United States, and I absolutely love it. If I'm flying the A2A Comanche, this is the repaint of which I like to fly the most. It is American registered. Like I said, I don't know if this registration exists in reality. I'm fairly certain this repaint doesn't exist in reality, but I just love this repaint. It's absolutely amazing. Very well done. I would credit the creator of the repaint. I have no idea. It's been in my simulated hangar for quite a while now. So what we're going to do today, we are going to be flying here from Wickenby, our usual little GA airfield, and we're going to go up over to the east coast, and we're going to go up the east coast a bit, and we're going to fly into Humberside Airport, because I have Fly Tampa's Humberside Airport. Hasn't featured in any of the videos. I used to have somebody else's, I can't remember for the life of me who's seen who it was, but we have got now Fly Tampa's version of Humberside Airport. And like I said, that's where we're going to go. It's a little flight, it's not far away from Wickenby, but it's nice just to get out, stretch your wings a little bit, and just fly. So let's go inside, and yeah, you'll just see quickly how detailed this aircraft is. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I really do love this aircraft. It's typical A2A. They've done a fantastic job with this aircraft. So let's first of all, I have to do this without TrackIR on first of all, because TrackIR goes nuts if I try and look down that low. So turn on TrackIR, centralize. Yeah, there we go. We've got everything all sorted. So our pop pitch full, mixture about 3/4. Battery coming on. Just have to clear this so I can turn on big beacon lights. You'll hear these sounds, and the sounds are created brilliantly. That's what you can say about A2A aircraft. They are brilliantly created. So we'll just take a little butchers at the screen here. We get a tablet as always, so just checking that we've got all the stuff. Parking brakes anyone has set. Beacon light is on. Yeah. We have fuel. We have a medium set fuel load, so we can get rid of that. So don't need that anymore. Right, this aircraft is brilliant at not starting. So you have to kind of treat this aircraft as like the real thing. So that's opened 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll leave that one locked. Fuel pump is on. Do we have fuel pressure? We do have fuel pressure, right. Okay, so fuel pump off. Right, clear on the left side, clear at the front, clear on the right, and at the little cap flap, clip up. Magnet has come through to both, and let's hope this starts up. Like I say, it doesn't always start. Come on. Come on. We'll shut that up. Or let the engine idle at about 1,000. One of those aircraft that just works. It's detailed. Everything works. The systems, all the stuff behind the cockpit, all work properly. Not that we'll be using the ADF, but because we'll be using our GTN 750 for navigational. So let's get our route set up. So we're going out of EGNW. What is Humberside's code? Not that one. Yay. Humberside, hey, that was a guess. I'll set that as a direct. We are, what, 15.5 miles away on a course of 360. So, Humberside's up there. Thanks to Nvidia just kicking in. We'll score to 7,000 and we'll set that to on at the moment before we go altitude. Set that to GPS. So fuel is good in both tanks, oil pressure's in the green, amps are good, oil temperature's in the green. Fuel pressure's a little bit on the high side. Cylinder temp is coming up into the green. So I have one stage of flap. Engine idle's a bit better now. So let's get going. Parking brake released. Quick check of the brakes. So like I said in the start of this video, A2A for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 only have released this aircraft. I say only, it is a fantastic job they've done on this aircraft, but they have in their collection a real a real Comanche 250, and that's where they base all their creation of this aircraft on. So it's a very, very detailed representation of their very own Comanche 250, and it's the same for the potential twin-engined aircraft. And I can't remember exactly which one it is now. I think it was a Shrike, I'm not 100%, that is supposed to be getting released for this sim and 2024. Now the downside is, last time I heard any news of this new twin-engined aircraft, it had crashed. I believe the flight crew was all right on it, but it was, I don't know whether it was a total write-off, but it has curtailed the development of the new aircraft for the simulator. So they still say that there's going to be a twin-engined aircraft release for this sim and for 2024, but at the moment we don't have any information on release dates or anything silly like that. So we're just going to park ourselves off. Check nobody's coming up here. There isn't. Good. We're just going to park ourselves off here to do our run-up checks. Locks the parking brake, and we are positioned correctly. Yes, out of the way. So what we're going to do a run-up test. We are going to run up 2,000 RPM, and then we will check the mags, and we will check the carb heat, and we will check the propeller pitch, engine response. We'll zoom that in back a bit more. So yes, parking brake has been set. Run up to 2,000. Hold on the brakes, let the engine settle. So, It's definitely a difference between the two mags, so that'll be a maintenance check when we get to our location. Cycle the pop pitch. Return, cycle again. Carb heat, and notice the difference in RPM. Okay, so we'll just idle it at about 1,000. Control check. Left, right. We have flaps set for 1 position, 2 and 3 position. Flaps retracted, and we'll take off with flaps 1 position. So fuel pump is on. Just check we shut that off. We did. That mixture full. So we'll be departing out of runway 21 here. Wickenby, a left-hand departure. Usual routine for takeoff out of here is left-hand departure and loop around over the airfield and head out towards the east coast. We're not going to be following the route exactly, but we will be heading roughly there. Won't be using ATC today because, well, it's flight simulator, don't need it. We do note that the runway has a hump in it, about 3/4, which if I get the right speed, the hump will be what kicks us into the air. So just checking on the controls are set on my end. So go on a parking brake, let's go. It's a nice short runway here at Wickenby, but will be plenty of space. So we'll just set the heading position to be a runway heading, and we'll now have altitude. Come on, where's the click spot? Oh, come on. Why did I press that? Honestly, sometimes the click spots on this. Thank you, that's better. Squawking altitude. So, mixture is full, pop pitch is full, flaps are set, gear is set, obviously, we're on the ground. Fuel pump is on. Yeah, trim is set for neutral. We'll just pull that up a touch. Yes, the trim wheel is in the ceiling, so you'll see that spinning around every time I try moving it. So let's rev her up and let's get going. Airspeed is live. Found a bumpy part. Back pressure on the stick, and we're airborne already before we even got to the hump. Tap the brakes. Gear coming up. Flaps have been retracted and checked. Pulling out the climb power. About 140 knots. As we cross over Wickenby. So we are going to set our autopilot system. We'll let that power up. Set that to heading. Have altitude hold as well while we're at it. So like I said, we're going to fly out towards the east coast today before we fly up the Humber and fly into Humberside Airport. That beeping is the trim setting, because the autopilot is now flying the aircraft, and the trim, you'll just notice that beep. It'll probably come back, but the aircraft is out of trim, so basically it tells you with which light as to whether you want to trim up or trim down. Just come off the rudder pedals there. So just sitting a little bit over 1,500 feet, and it's a beautiful day for a flight. I don't want to direct to. I don't know why that's particularly doing that. But yes, I thought I'd just take the little A2A Comanche out for a little flight. It's not really a review flight, I've done all that, but it is a great aircraft. A2A, a legendary status here on this sim. Potentially one of the best, one of the all-time great flight sim companies. I've had quite a few of their aircraft across the the years of FS 2004, FSX, and 2020, and we'll carry on getting them, because it doesn't matter what they are, it doesn't matter what they release, you know that they have created a fantastic aircraft package. It's a brilliant sound package, brilliant external looks, brilliant internal looks, functionality of the cockpit. We don't have, we're rocking the 750 here, we could be rocking the original options for avionics. 750, I think, for me is always a win. E1000 isn't bad, I do like that as well, but the 750 just works. I was thinking of what kind of videos I can create for the future, and I was watching YouTube a few days ago, and there was a real pilot, a real flight team that were flying a Cirrus SR-22, and they were flying a tour of the UK's coastline. So literally just following the coastline as best they could. And I thought, that's a really, really good idea, because you see a lot of people on Flight Simulator creating world tours or country tours or, long distance flying. And I thought, something, I mean, I'm not really into long distance flying and general aviation, but a tour of the UK That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. So I might look into that. And what aircraft I'd do it in, I don't know yet. But I've got to look into that one and see if I can work it out. Obviously, that'll be a multi-part video. I was wondering as well, amongst all us flight sim lovers, that sounds a bit wrong, but likers of the Flight Simulator series, what your thoughts are on 2024, because what we are now, we are on August the 16th. And Flight Sim 2024 is supposed to be dropping in November, although I don't have an exact date. So what's your thoughts on 2024? Are you going to get it on release day? Are you going to be waiting to see what issues? Because, you know, we know what Flight Simulator, Asobo and Microsoft are like when it comes to releasing new stuff, whether there's going to be day one patches or day one issues. So will you be getting it on day one, or will you be sitting back and relaxing and just, you know, watching and seeing what happens? Because me personally, I will probably be working, but I will be definitely interested in Flight Simulator 2024, no doubt about that. And as long as my system can meet the specs of it, because still at the moment we don't know what specs are going to run 2024 well. But I will, if it can run it, I will probably be interested in it. I don't want to have to build a new system, because I built a new system for this simulator, so I should be fairly alright, I must admit, from what I've heard so far. Obviously, snippets of information has been released by questionable sources, but, you know, we're getting a rough idea of stuff that is going to be improved over this sim. But one of the big things that I've heard that I'm very interested in is the processor, how the new simulator will take into account multi-core support of the processors. Because weirdly, this sim 2020 takes a lot from FSX in the support, in the thought of it only takes into account one processor, one core, I should say. So that's not really how, you know, to make a program run better, you would like to spread the load across multiple cores, henceforth multi-core support. And this sim doesn't do it, and we've had a few issues where it's been, you know, it could have been run better, it could have been created better. Now, they're not going to bring multi-core support to 2020, but 2024 they have said it will be getting multi-core support. Now, I run an i9 processor, which I can't remember how many cores it's got quite a few, so I cannot wait to see, hopefully, I'm touching wood, that it has a full multi-core support, which will make it easier for a processor to run the simulator, because simulators are always traditionally a processor-related application. Graphics cards are important, processors are more important. So more times out of any, that anyone's computer will be locked by the processor or restricted by the processor. So the graphics card doesn't have that. I'm running a 3090 in my system here, and I get pretty good results with my my processor and my graphics card arrangement. So I'm hoping, touch wood, that it will be what I want and usable. So we're just approaching the Humber. Humberside Airport is just up on our left wing somewhere, probably about somewhere back there. So we're going to fly out over the Humber and then swing back over towards the airfield. We're going to do this all by the autopilot. Like I say, a beautiful day for a flight. will say as well, I do have Beyond ATC on this simulator. Now, I haven't done any content around Beyond ATC at the moment, and I haven't really done too many flights of it. As we know, traditionally, Flight Simulator's ATC is questionable at best. Beyond ATC is taking the air traffic control component of the Flight Simulator and making it so much better if they get everything that they plan to release out for it. So I've had it on the simulator for quite a while now. I've done a few flights with it, and it is good as it is. It's good for IFR flights. It will work down here at general aviation altitudes, and will obviously work with general aviation aircraft, but it still doesn't have completely the general aviation VFR flight rules set up for it. It's still running basic IFR. I would say basic. It's a lot more advanced than obviously the Flight Simulators air traffic components. So I am looking at possibly doing some videos in the future. We got trim up. Okay, the aircraft just came out of trim. So I'm looking at doing some videos sometime showing off Beyond ATC, because I do believe, hand on heart, that Beyond ATC is a product worth endorsing, purchasing, and looking into if you're wanting to increase the ATC ability of the sim, which is severely lacking, because even though we've got all this graphical beauty, this brilliant aircraft, and a lot of brilliant aircraft in the sim, the ATC is still running pretty much the same system. I don't know whether I've still got the button for it. Nope, I haven't. That's how much I don't use it. I don't even have it set up. But it's running the same ATC system as FSX, and to a lesser extent FS 2004. So we are going to start our swing round here to the left. Can't see the airfield yet. I think I might have the runway up ahead. Not 100%. Was just 11. I'm sure I saw a straightish runway. It's hard to see, but I'm not sure if I just saw in the haze there was a runway. In fact, yes, I do have the runway in sight. Let's get my feet back on the old rudder pedals. So we will disengage, altitude hold, disengage, autopilot. I have control. One stage of flat, please. Thank you. That warning was obviously I was just pulling the throttle back a little bit too much. I've still got the gear retracted. So in fact we'll have the gear down now. Gear travelling. Green light, gear locked. 3 green, well 1 green technically. This is what I like doing in the sim, just getting into a general aviation aircraft and just going out for a flight. It doesn't have to be long distance for me, just having a chance to enjoy the sim. So we'll do our last check. So flaps are down one stage, confirmed. Gear is down, one green light. Obviously cleared to land. Our flaps down, two stage. This is where you start concentrating. Pull the nose back, pull the throttle, don't chop it just yet. Main wheel and nose wheel. Not a bad landing if I do say so myself. So, welcome to sunny Humberside Airport, where the local time is about 20 odd minutes later than when we took off from Wickenby. We'll backtrack up the runway because there is no taxiway off this runway. So this is Fly Tampa's version of Humberside Airport, and it's a good one, I must admit. It's got all the main buildings, good runway textures. So that sound you're hearing, that bump bump noise, is actually from the A2A Comanche 250. It is simulating, obviously, the scenes in the runway. That was just the brakes kicking in. So like I say, sounds. I always say sounds are so important with flight simulator aircraft, and A2A just knock it out of the ballpark when it comes to sounds. So we can have fuel pump is off, don't need that anymore. So some of the helicopters that are based here fly out to the oil rigs out in the North Sea, so I do believe we have, well, one of them right ahead of us. We're going to park ourselves outside of this little teeny-weeny hangar here. Always love to see people walking around. That's a whole new level to the sim. So, parking brake has been set. And we're down. Avionics coming off. Mixture ball back. Beacon light is now off. Mags are off. Battery is off. So remember how to unlock this door. Do I remember how to unlock this door? What is it? There we go. I knew it was something like that. Ah, get some fresh air in here. So, there we are. Welcome to Flight Tamper's version of Humberside Airport. It's brilliant. Obviously missing a few little aircraft around here, but certainly I must have caught them on a quiet night, a quiet day even. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you are into general aviation aircraft and you haven't taken a look at the A2A Comanche, just take a look at it. There's enough videos out there on YouTube to, really have a look in depth and detail at what this aircraft is. It is so much more than what I have shown. So much more. You have to keep up on the maintenance program for this aircraft. It's that in-depth. You have to look after it. Obviously, when we did our takeoff, we did our run-up checks, we noticed that the mags were a little bit off. A little bit of change of difference between the two mags, so I'll have to have a look at the maintenance of that that side of the aircraft. But I'll do that off video. So, like I say, great aircraft, awesome aircraft, great scenery, lovely weather. If you have any questions or comments about this aircraft or the Flight Tamper Humberside Airport scenery, of which we have, please bang them below and I will get around to answering them as soon as I can. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in a future Microsoft Flight Simulator video very, very soon.